the need to limit global temperature rise to no more than 1.5 degrees Celsius and less than 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels to reduce the impact of weather on the weather to reduce the impacts of weather due to rising temperatures and rising sea levels. So achieving this target in minimizing temperature rise to preferably 1.5 but no more than 2 degrees Celsius requires actually massive emissions cuts. And you're probably aware of this if you're watching this video. Hello and welcome to this video. Today we're tackling an essential strategy in making your organization more sustainable and reducing its carbon footprint, and it's energy efficiency. Whilst discussions often focus on renewable energy sources, energy efficiency is also a cost-effective and immediate tool we can use to mitigate global warming. So let's just set the scene. Climate change refers to long-term shifts in temperature and weather patterns. These changes are primarily driven by human activity since the 1800s, especially the burning of fossil fuels such as coal, oil and gas. And these gases, when combusted, or these fuels when combusted, release greenhouse gases. These greenhouse gases act like a blanket wrapped around the Earth. Major contributing sectors to greenhouse gas emissions include energy, industry, transport, buildings and agriculture. So energy efficiency simply means using less energy to provide the same service. It's about leveraging technology to do more with less electricity, thereby minimizing the amount of energy wasted. Energy efficiency is considered to be one of the most cost-effective ways of reducing greenhouse gas emissions. And the potential impact is tremendous. The International Energy Agency, the IGEA, estimates that accelerating improvements in energy efficiency could cut global greenhouse gas emissions by an astonishing 7 gigatons. That's a very large number, by 2030. Now, this potential is often called an abatement wedge, a wedge that is actually not as well utilised as it could be. And in the economic sphere, energy efficiency is already delivering benefits. For example, there's now many countries whose energy consumption hasn't grown for the last 15 years, from the United States through to Australia, where efficiency improvements have helped keep these countries' energy consumption roughly the same, despite growth in GDP and population growth. So beyond cost savings on utility bills, greater efficiency can also reduce reliance on imported energy and creates domestic jobs, with job growth rates in the energy efficiency sector being up to 5 times higher than in the fossil fuel sectors. So how do energy audits drive carbon reduction? And how do organisations actually pinpoint where the wastage actually occurs? The answer lies in an energy audit. So energy audits for businesses are designed to pinpoint where facilities waste energy and then show how to fix that wastage. And when conducted correctly, they pave the way for substantial cost savings and carbon reductions. The standard energy audit process involves firstly data collection, gathering utility bills, equipment specifications and operation schedules to establish an accurate baseline of energy use and develop an energy use breakdown, or start to develop an energy use breakdown. Then there's an on-site inspection, which inspects major systems such as heating, ventilation, air conditioning, HVAC, lighting, insulation, motors, to detect inefficiencies. Then there's analysis and recommendations. An energy auditor will undertake calculations to quantify potential energy savings and cost reductions, and they'll also do research to identify and talk to suppliers to identify the capital costs, and then they'll suggest if there are capital costs, and often they'll look for both low-cost measures or no-cost measures and measures requiring capital expenditure, and they're going to suggest corrective actions. So the ultimate goal for this process is to help organisations lower their energy costs, enhance their operational efficiency, and crucially, reduce their environmental footprint. So requiring an energy audit is actually a very important early step a business should be taking to determine how it can save money and energy and understand its carbon footprint and reduce its carbon footprint. So now let's look at global sustainability targets and the role of energy audits in these. Energy auditors directly support large-scale global sustainability targets, especially those related to the Paris Agreement and achieving net zero emissions. So the Paris Agreement establishes a global framework to address climate change. And under the Paris Agreement, countries submit what they call NDCs, nationally determined contributions, stating how much they intend to reduce their carbon emissions by. And to align with this framework, the use, production, consumption of all fossil fuels, coal, oil and gas must decline significantly Paris Agreement generally recommends cuts of at least 30% by 2030. And then many countries have, in their nationally determined contributions, or NDCs, as I just mentioned, have put in net zero emissions targets, which are aiming for net zero emissions. Many countries are aiming for that by 2050, others are 2060, and there's a few aiming for 2070. But all of them are actually aiming for net zero emissions. And energy efficiency is a very valuable tool in achieving these targets. Looking at a business, it can most effectively, or an organization can most effectively, cost effectively achieve net zero by including energy efficiency in those measures that it's going to implement in order to get there. And energy efficiency is a great starting point for identifying how much energy is used and minimizing its current energy consumption. And this is where a high quality energy audit comes in. So a high quality energy audit will, the energy auditors will identify specific measures to reduce energy consumption. And these measures should translate directly into lower carbon footprint. And you can ask your energy auditor to quantify the carbon savings as well in the audit. And it can help businesses meet carbon reduction goals that they've either set for themselves or, increasingly, if they're very large businesses across several countries, been mandated to meet. Certified energy auditors also help businesses navigate stricter energy efficiency and carbon reduction mandates. They ensure that facilities meet requirements set by environmental policies and programs, whether those be internal targets or internal systems like the ISO 50001 Energy Management System, or those set by the country in which they operate and which they're mandated to achieve. Investment justification is also another important element of an energy audit. A well-executed energy audit will provide the necessary financial analysis, including ROI, return on investment calculations, to justify the capital expenditures needed for efficiency projects to achieve larger savings than those which can be just achieved by low-cost or no-cost measures. Now, when energy audits are rigorous, they allow businesses and organisations to align with sustainability goals, leading to enhanced brand recognition also as an eco-conscious company, so that then implementing an energy audit and getting the savings will help organisations actually not just reduce their costs and carbon footprint, but also from a marketing perspective. And you're probably aware of this as well, and how that's sometimes abused through greenwash. A good energy audit is very dubious of greenwash and is really focused on having an effective measurement and verification plan to prove the savings. Despite the clear benefits of energy efficiency that I've just outlined, the global rate of energy intensity improvement is only about 1/3 of the pace that's needed to align with the Paris Agreement pathway. So this difference between what's technically achievable and what actually happens is known as the efficiency gap. Now, a significant, although often under-discussed, barrier contributing to this efficiency gap is poor energy efficiency advisory and poor energy audit quality. If energy audit recommendations are vague, generic, or if the estimated savings are over-optimistic or do not materialise, or the estimated costs of the upgrade are much lower than actual, clients lose the faith. Studies show that low-quality advice and lack of trust reinforce a vicious cycle. Poor advice leads to low uptake of energy audits, which slows down the entire industry's progress towards carbon reduction and towards everyone improving and getting better at this. So we need to stop accepting mediocrity in this critical sector. To ensure that advice provider is trustworthy, businesses need to demand and fund audits that meet an investment grade standard. And this is why the Investment Grade Energy Auditor certification exists. IGEAs are trained and then assessed by submitting an actual real energy audit report on their ability to provide sound, data-driven advice that maximises savings and can be relied on by executives and financial institutions to justify major investments. Now, unlike many short certification models that just rely solely on a multiple choice exam, the IGEA certification process is much more rigorous, requiring candidates to undergo both an interview where they're asked, their knowledge is tested on the spot with rapid fire questions, but more importantly, actually to submit a real energy audit of a real site, and then that energy audit is examined and reviewed in detail by an expert. And they provide a lot of feedback, which actually helps them become better auditors, and through an iterative process can actually improve their audit quality by submitting a report, maybe failing it but getting good feedback, then resubmitting until they pass that final energy audit. So by focusing on developing auditors with better technical skills, giving feedback that action is expected around effective communication and engagement strategies. The IGEA certification aims to ensure that an IGEA certified energy auditor can deliver credible recommendations that, when they're implemented, the costs and benefits are more or less in line with the energy audit report. To successfully mitigate climate change, we must embrace energy efficiency as a core strategy. Energy audits are a cornerstone of society's transition to a more sustainable future, but one facility at a time. They lead to reduced energy consumption, lower operational costs, and a significant shrinking of the carbon footprint of an organisation. By investing in high-quality auditing, we're directly contributing to the massive emissions abatement that is needed in order to limit global temperature rise. If you're a business owner or an investor looking to optimize efficiency and reduce your environmental impact, prioritize energy audits undertaken by certified professionals like the Investment Grade Energy Auditor, IGEA certified energy auditors. When the quality of audit improves, we unlock the necessary finance, and energy efficiency can truly deliver the gigatons of savings needed to secure a sustainable future. So I hope you found this useful. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe if you want more insights on sustainable solutions. You can also, if you want to do energy auditing yourself, you could perhaps look at the trial lessons that form part of the IGEA training in the description in the link in the description below the video. Thank you.